Hello there, World of Tankers, and welcome to the channel. I'm your host, World of Blitz, and in today's video, I'll be playing in the Titan Charioteer. This is one of the weirdest Tier 8 tank destroyers in the game, and it's honestly just a worse Charioteer in most ways. The thing about this tank is that it was essentially a Charioteer that sacrificed gun stats for better armor. The problem is, the tank still doesn't have that much armor. Its turret's about 190 mils thick, and the hull's about 160. But it's a boxy turret, so anything that has over 200 mils of pen, which is essentially every tier 8, is still going to pen you. It's only lower tier vehicles that are actually going to bounce your hull. You might get bounces on the upper plate by like a tier 7 if you're lucky. The armor on this vehicle is not that effective. It does feature a consumable which reduces 10% of the damage received, but that's kind of useless, to be honest. That means if you receive 1,000 damage, only 100 of that's going to be mitigated, which isn't going to make a whole lot of difference in the actual gameplay. The other thing it does is it activates your dynamic armor, which means your armor moves up and possibly you'll get more bounces. I don't know. I think it's more of a, ooh, look, my armor moves, rather than, ooh, it's actually doing something. But it's still cool that Wargaming put the time and effort to make a tank with dynamic armor. The Titan Charioteer does have a decently effective gun, dealing 420 damage on the high explosive and 450 on the base HE with 2,270 DPM. It's not, honestly, that much damage per minute, and the Charioteer does deal more damage with a penning Hesh shell. But I guess it's still unique that this vehicle does have high explosive. I don't know. I mean, the tank looks cool, and it does have a unique mechanic going for it. There's only a handful of other tanks that have dynamic armor, being the Titan HN and the 54D, so it is quite unique in that regard. Actually, on the Lesta server, which is the Russian branch of the game that is obviously split up from NA, EU, and Asia, they have their own tier 10 with moving armor. I think it's a whole line. It's honestly really unique and cool. I've been waiting for Wargaming to do something like that to Blitz on the NA server and, EU and all that for a while, but I don't think they ever will. But I've always thought moving armor is a cool concept, and I thought it would be really unique if Wargaming did actually develop a line that featured moving armor in some sort of way, but actually was somewhat effective. Maybe it would make your turret armor stronger if you activated it, and then if you deactivated it, it would make your hull stronger, and you could kind of go back and forth, and there was a cooldown of like 5 seconds between activating it. I don't know. I just always thought that would be like a really cool idea. Either way, here we are in our first battle. Now, what we'll notice is that our entire team is making their way over towards base C. So, I guess that's where we're going to go as well. This tank is fairly fast. At the end of the day, it is based off of a Charioteer, so you're able to go upwards of 46 kilometers per hour, which is pretty nice. We actually have a Tiger spotted, and we're going to aim in on that Tiger. Well, that shell went perfectly into the spaced armor of the Tiger 1, not allowing us to hit him. Alright, well, let's aim it on the Tiger again. Yeah, that shell is never, ever going to hit. Okay, well, so far we've fired 2 shots and done basically no damage. Let's aim it on the Tiger again. We'll just fire an AP shell. That one may have actually penetrated. I think that one could have. You can see the accuracy on this vehicle is pretty mid, to be honest. It's not what I would consider to be the most fantastic gun in that regard. We have the Skoda T27 in front of us, and, oh, aiming. That one did not hit. Wow. Alright, our gun is really not treating us well right now. I will say that. We got the Semovente Contra Caro, but he just backed up, not allowing us to actually get a shell out. Okay. Well, we have the Scorpion G down low. We got the Tiger 1, we got the Semovente. I'm spotted from something that I can't see, which is interesting. We got the Skoda. Okay. Well, oh, crazy. That's really annoying. 0 damage, high explosive. I don't even think we hit him. Yeah, you see, this is why I don't really enjoy this tank that much, though. Is because the gun is just hella mid. I mean, it really misses so many shots that you'll shoot, and because of that, it's just not very fun to actually use. Alright, well, let's see. We got the Skoda. Not able to HE him with a standard HE, but we are able to premium high explosive pen him, and that's obviously pretty dang nice. We can see that our Carnarvon is not doing too well, but that's alright. Wow, what an awful roll. 353. Well, the Carnarvon still does get the clear out, which is obviously pretty good. We're going to put on our reactive armor, and we're going to get 1 pen into the Defender Mark 1. Our ammo rack does get damaged, which is a little annoying, but it's not that big of a deal. We still have our thing activated, so we get a 13 damage shell into the defender. Whoa. 13 damage. Man, that really got him good, didn't it? Alright, well, we do have the rear of the defender. There you go. 470 damage high explosive. That's a little bit better. I mean, we've dealt 2,100 damage, so it's not like we're doing awful in damage, which is surprising. And we get a nice 450 damage shell into the rear of the Semovente, so not awful. Our T-23 is going to get some shells into him. So we're going to move over here, aiming on the TS-5 hatch. There you go. A non-penning HE. Man, this gun is really, really disappointing. I gotta be honest, like, it really is. Alright, well, let's aim it on the lower plate of the TS5. That was just a bad shot from me. I overturned that. That was my fault. But hey, we got assistance for it, so I can't get too mad. 740 assistance, which is alright. But yeah, man, I do not love this gun. Like, it just feels like a derp cannon on a vehicle that's not supposed to have a derp gun. 2,600 damage, 740 assisted, so not an awful result, but if we were in any vehicle like an SU-130 PM or, you know, any tank with an accurate gun, we would have easily been able to deal over 3K that game. I mean, we had shots that missed, like the lower plate of that TS5 on the first shell we fired at him, which completely just dunked into the ground. We shot at the Skoda T-27 roof. That shell completely missed. We shot, what, 2 shells at the Tiger. Both completely missed. I'm pretty sure if we were in, like, a Scorpion or SU-130, all of the shots would have hit we fired due to the increased accuracy of those vehicles, and we would have dealt easily upwards of 3,500 to 4K damage. That's not to say this is a bad vehicle. As you saw, we still did all right in that game. It's just we didn't have a very enjoyable experience while playing in the tank. The gun is so derpy when shooting high explosive at your opponents, it just feels very awkward. Alright, well, here we are, game number 2. The one thing I will say I like about this vehicle is that it does have decent mobility, which means that you can get into the front line a bit faster. I think the only thing Wargaming really has to do to make this tank better is either give it more turret armor or give it more hit points. You know, vehicles like the T-28 HTC and the Defender have upwards, or not HTC, but the HTC does actually have a lot of health for the tier that it's at, but the T-28 Prototype and Defender both have upwards of 1,400 to 1,500 hit points. Even the Tech Tree just T-28 without the turret has that much HP. So I think that if Wargaming really wants to make this vehicle a bit better, that's what they could do for this tank, as well as give it a little bit more HP, which would allow it to feel more like an actual heavy and rather like a tank destroyer. Alright, well, we have the Sheriff, who we did get actually a nice snap into. That was a lucky shell, though. Again, the accuracy of this gun makes it very, very tricky to actually hit those snaps. Looks like the rest of the enemy team is also wide over here, so let's aim in a shell, but we get hit by an unspotted vehicle for 275. I don't even know what hit me, to be honest. It probably was the silencer. That would be my guess. And yes, it indeed was the silencer. Let's aim in a high explosive shell. There you go, 360. Pretty bad roll. Again, this vehicle is not great at HE rolls, but at least we're getting damage out. We should be unspotted at this point, so if we poke the side of this E75 TS, might be able to get some damage into his vehicle. Let's see. Oh, wait a sec. There you go. Nice 387 shell into his vehicle. I'm going to put on my adrenaline and just move up here. Looks like that E75 TS is a bit oblivious, so if we just aim in a high explosive, there you go. Nice 450 damage shell into his tank, which is pretty nice. Let's activate our reactive armor, and that way we can... Oh, did he miss me or pen me? I think he fired an HE and missed me. Either way, we're getting good damage out into the enemy E75 TS, which is obviously pretty dang nice, and we finish him off. So, pretty good stuff right there. Problem is our CDA is basically holding alone against a bunch of enemy tanks. We have the T69 on our side. Wow, 420 damage high explosive shell, and that's what we roll. That's pretty freaking awful. Sometimes the game really doesn't like to be good, and that was one of those moments right there. Let's get to the side of the VK. Let's get a clearing shell into his vehicle. We do have that silencer trying to shoot me, but I don't really care because, I mean, what's he going to do to me? That silencer knows he can't beat me. Let's see. Is he going to poke it? That's the question. I'll give it a couple seconds. 3, 2, 1. Nah, it doesn't look like he is indeed going to poke it. We do have the T-2065, and ow, we got hit by the T-34 too, and that shell just completely dunked into the ground. Actually, we might be dead from the silencer. Maybe not. Thought the silencer was going to kill me. Oh, but we do have the Sheriff over here as well. I just have to kind of wait right now. Let's see. I know that silencer wants to poke me really, really bad, so I'm just going to wait right here. Hopefully that Sheriff does not kill me. Come on. Okay, we're all good right now. I'm just going to keep waiting here. I know that they're going to poke it at some point. There you go. Nice. Now that we got teammates over here, it's going to be a lot harder for the enemy to actually try and kill me. We do have the T-77 in the back. We get a nice shell into his tank. Not bad. We're up to 3,300 damage at this point, which is pretty good. Let's aim in a high explosive. Wow, the HE on this tank sucks. What are these rolls? Come on, game. I mean, 420 average damage. And the average roll we're getting out is like 340 on the high explosive. That is dookie balls. Alright, let's get an HE into the side of his tank and clear him without having to worry about it penning. And there you go. Pretty solid game. We played a little bit poor in the end. I should have just pushed the silencer and killed him instead of dealing or trying to HE the T-34 too. But that was an ace, and we did alright. 3,700 damage. Again, it's not a bad tank, but it just doesn't feel fun to drive. And the HE on this vehicle kind of sucked. I don't know what the heck it was doing there. We have 420 alpha damage, and every shot rolled like 390 to 370 on the HE. Made 0 sense. Either way, hopefully you enjoyed today's video. Let me know what you guys think about the Titan Charioteer in the comments. I just thought this would be an interesting vehicle to play in. But one thing you probably noticed is that we literally bounced like 0 shells. The armor on this vehicle does not work. It's more of a gimmick rather than being effective. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.